Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Big Donut from the show Steven Universe. If you're new around here and you enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, let's get started. So just before we start building everybody, here are all of the materials that we will need to make Big Donut. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of space required to make Big Donut is a 22 by 20 block area, as you can see on the ground. Do feel free to make this white concrete grid in your world if you do feel as though it might help you out. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to, make sure you got all that stuff, make sure you got enough room to make it, make sure you're ready for some awesome donuts, and once you are, we can begin. Step 1, Steven Universe fans, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it. Count to the right from the corner 1, and then count inwards 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to start off by placing a light grey concrete on the ground, and 2 glass pane behind it. 1, 2. Place a light grey concrete behind that, and then place 2 birchwood planks behind that. 1, 2. Place a pink concrete behind that, extend it up, left, 2, go down 1, left 1, down 1. In addition to that, you want to place 2 birchwood planks extending backwards. But what we also want to do is we want to add magenta concrete all the way around the inside of our pink concrete, and then we just want to stick an oak wood plank right in the middle like this. We are then going to swing around the back of the build, and we're going to extend the birchwood planks that we placed here earlier. We want to extend them across the back by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We now want to start extending forwards again. We want to take this 13th block and extend it forwards by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You then want to extend it to the left towards the little donut that we have there by about 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you want to extend towards the front again by 2. 1, 2. Stick a light grey concrete on the end. You then want to place 2 light blue glass pane going left, 1, 2, light grey concrete. We then have to place a door here, so I'm going to recommend that you place something other than grass in the ground, so like white concrete or, iron block, or something that you would use as a floor material, and then stick a door there. Place a light grey concrete there, on the other side of the door, and then 4 light blue stained glass pane extending towards the front of the build. Now this will give us this floor plan. Honestly, it's one of the weirder floor plans that I've made, but this is what we're starting off with. Once you have done this, what we can now do is we can build up the walls a little bit. We're going to begin by extending up the birchwood plank areas. We're actually going to be adding 3 rows of planks, 1, 2, 3, on top of every single birchwood plank that we have. And that doesn't just apply for birchwood planks, that also applies for the donut, spray paint, graffiti, whatever you want to call it, like the little artwork that is on the side of the build. We want to build up above that donut there. But we do not want to build above where the entrance is going to be. So basically, wherever we've got the glass pane and the light grey concrete, we don't want to interfere with that yet. So that will give us these walls here. But what we do want to do is we want to extend all of the light grey concretes upwards. We want to extend them up as high as the birch planks that we have placed around. So all you got to do is place 3 rows directly on top, all of them, like that. What we are then going to do is place an extra layer of glass on top of all of the glass that we've already placed. You don't have to do this for above the door, of course. We then want to place a layer of light grey concrete above all of this, just like that. We then want to place light blue stained glass paint on this final layer right here, and that will give us this, which is a pretty good shell of the shop, to be quite honest. I quite like that. If you like, you can destroy underneath all of the windows and place in some light grey concrete instead. That will make it look a little bit better. Otherwise, choose a different material, like a floor material, but you don't want to leave it grass, of course. What we now want to do is, and I would recommend extending, or rather moving, the pink concrete and the white concrete closer together. What we want to do, and it's kind of tricky to do, to be honest, is we want to place above and around the outside of Big Donut, so kind of like in this position, like above and around the outside of Big Donut, we want to place an alternating pattern of pink concrete, white concrete, pink concrete, white concrete, pink concrete, white concrete, which is hard to say fast, by the way. That's kind of difficult. You want to place this pattern going all the way around the outside of the top of Big Donut. So if you want to, you can start on top of like the outline of the building, so all of the birch planks and the glass and blah blah blah, or you can do what I'm doing now, which is kind of just skirt around it. Now it's actually not too bad to place once you get it going, so what we will have, or what we want to have in the end, will look a little something like this. The only thing that you may want to do is above the windows especially, you might want to add, say, like an extra layer of light grey concrete, or maybe even some lights to kind of like light it up a little bit. The point of it being that if you were to come in this position and there was nothing above the glass, then it might look a little bit funky, but that's, you know, that's kind of up to you whether you want to leave it like that or not. We want to add more layers on top of the pink and the white now that we've done it. I would recommend doing it in colours. So we want to add, in total, 2 more rows on top of all of what we've just placed. So directly on top of all of the pink, directly on top of all of the white, we want to add 2 more rows of the same. I would recommend going all the way around and doing one colour at a time. This will save you getting arthritis or a repetitive strain injury in your fingers. I just find that it's actually a little bit easier. It's a little bit more efficient just to do one color at a time, other than like doing this. I mean, this is quite fast, but you know, you might find that one of your fingers falls to sleep or something. So I'd recommend. Well, now I've done half of it, I might as well continue doing it this way. But however you want to do it, the fact of the matter is that you eventually want to have, in total, this is in total, not just what we've added now, 3 rows. And you can, if you want, add a 4th row, because I'm not quite sure which I prefer from here. So, I don't know whether I like the idea of the canopy, the top of the building to go straight up, or I don't know whether I like the idea of placing an additional row, an additional and final row of the canopy, I'll call it the canopy, I don't quite know what to call it otherwise, above and inside of the top of the build. So it still follows the same rules, you still follow the same colour pattern going all the way around the inside of the top of Big Donut, but we just extend it 1 row inwards to give it a 3D sort of effect. So instead of kind of what we had before, which was, of course, we just had kind of like flatness, this way it's a little bit more shape. So whether you want to do that, or whether you want to extend it up, or maybe even you want to cut it in half and have it like that, I'll leave that up to you. But the point of the matter is that we want to have about 4 rows of that canopy. What we also want to do, and by the way, I did forget one slight little bit of detail. Using stone brick wall, I just want to create like a door handle next to the birchwood door that we have down below here, and that's just to like theoretically open up that actual door. It doesn't actually do anything, but it's a little bit of decoration. I'm going to dump these materials for a second, and I'm going to grab smooth stone. I'm going to grab dark oak wood planks, dark oak wood stairs, oak wood planks, oak fence. I need some colourful blocks, such as white concrete, light blue concrete, yellow, maybe even pink. First, we are going to fill the top of the roof in using smooth stone. You don't have to use smooth stone, you could continue the colourful canopy of pink and white, but I am using smooth stone because it just makes more sense as a roof material. Once we have filled in the top of the roof, you guys might already realise why we've grabbed all of these colourful materials and all of the wood. Big Donut is called Big Donut for a very good reason. There's a giant donut on top of Big Donut, so we're going to be making that once we've filled the roof in. So we want to find on the front of the build the centre of the roof. So the center of the roof is basically here. You can kind of eyeball it, but what it works out to be is that this center of the roof, and I'm just going to mark it out with a dark oak plank, right? On the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you have found the center. It actually doesn't line up with the entrance, so you might get a little bit confused there. So that is where the center of the roof is, and that is where you want to place a dark oak plank. The reason that we're placing this is because we want to extend that plank left, up, left, up, left, up by 2, 1, 2. Then right, up, and then right by 2, 1, 2. And then down down by 2, 1, 2. Left, down, like that. So that will give us this shape, which is a cool shape to have because all we have to do is place dark oak wood planks in each one of the 4 corners like this, right? And then place dark oak wood stairs in each one of the 4 corners as well. Regular facing ones at the bottom and upside down ones at the top. And that's all you've got to do pretty much. Behind the donut, I'm going to recommend that you add oak wood planks where possible. So wherever you would have the planks on the front, you want to have the oak wood planks on the back. You don't have to have the upside down parts though, because it's not really necessary. I actually kind of sort of like it without there because it kind of gives the donut an interesting shape. We want to add 2 stands to the donut, so basically we're going to take like this corner here and this corner, like the inwards part from the stairs. We're going to extend 2 oak wood fence outwards from these points, and then we're going to join them down using oak fence, like this. Bloop, bloop, just like that. So it just looks like a stand. Going all the way around the inside the donut, we're going to have 4 colours, and I would try my best not to place these unlike the edges, but this is what we want to do. We want to place sprinkles, so kind of like around the inside of the donut per se, kind of like this. I would place some sprinkles. So in any sort of formation that you like, any colourful blocks, I just wouldn't place them like right on the edge because I think that it looks better. So as you can see, honestly, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, we don't even need all of these surroundings. We're going to add them, but we don't even need all of the surroundings to make that look good. I think that looks pretty good all by itself. But regardless of that, we are going to now come towards the back left-hand corner of Big Donut, and we are going to make it's like some sort of generator or HVAC system or something. I don't quite know what it is on the roof, and it's made out of light grey concrete, polished andesite stairs, buttons, and stone pressure plates. And this is what we do. From this back corner, we count forwards 1, 2, place a light grey concrete. 2 upside down andesite stairs, light grey concrete on the end. Place light grey concrete on the inside of this, and place light grey concrete all the way on top. Place a couple of stone pressure plates, like on the top, like this, and place a couple of buttons around, like so. If you want, you can even take out your stone brick wall, and this is a very unnecessary part, and you can like extend out a couple of walls on the inside to make it look as though it like connects into the roof a little bit, but it's a very unnecessary feature, and it does make the build look a little bit cooler in my opinion. So it's up to you whether you want to add that detail or not. It's very, very unnecessary, but okay, what are we going to do next? So outside Big Donut, we want to have a fence. So the fence is made pretty much out of birch fence and white carpet. And we're starting from the front right hand corner here of the entrance where we have this light grey concrete right here. I'm sure that you guys can see it, no props. And we're basically going to leave a gap of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to stick a birch fence. The birch fence is going to extend all the way to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's going to extend backwards until it is even and level with the part of the wall that juts out. Jut meaning extends out. We're going to place some white carpet on top of here, just because it kind of looks like the rail a little bit more, but you can just leave it as birch if you so wish. We want to have a little seating area, so the seating area is pretty simple. It's made out of birch stairs, iron trapdoors, emeralds, pink beds, pink wool, and I think that's pretty much it actually. And, oh, and also, where are we? And also the wall. So we're going to stick a wall pretty much in the middle of this area. It wants to be pretty much in the middle, just about here. And the wall is going to have 2 end rods on top. 1, 2. And then we want to have beds all the way around on top of the end rod. So what you're going to have to do is place something around the top that second end rod like this. You can use pink wool or whatever you want to use. And then we can place pink beds all the way around on top of the wall like this. And then we can destroy the middle of it. And it just looks like a parasol of some sort. Stick a pink wool on the middle part like this. We want to add some... It's also a table, this thing. So we're going to place iron trapdoors all the way around the top of the wall that we have at the bottom of this little table. And then we're just going to add a couple of seats. So like one here, and then one here. And you've even got room to add one there if you want. And, well, on one on the back. I mean, why not add 4, just for the fun of it. Like this. That's looking pretty good. There's also a couple of... I'm actually not quite sure what it is, to be honest with you, but we're going to place them anyway. Yellow concrete, item frames, and iron trapdoors or white carpet would actually look good for this, and maybe even the stairs. But basically, just in front of here, we're going to have 2 yellow concretes next to each other, item frames in each of them, and like trapdoors in front of them. You could even place a little bit of white carpet on top, and basically, I don't know what that is, but the structure exists on the actual build, so it's looking pretty good. We're slowly adding more and more details, and there are a couple more defining features. And we don't actually have all of the materials that we do need for this, but we can quickly grab them. So we're going to need some spruce wood stairs, and we also need the spruce signs. You guys will have seen this at the start of the video. We want to have a bench. The bench is centered in between the donut mural, or whatever you would call it, and the light grey concrete. It's basically 2 spruce stairs next to each other and a spruce signs next to it. And it's just a bench. That's all that is. Very good. What we're also going to do is make a dumpster. Now, the dumpster, we don't have everything as well. What we need is light grey concrete, which we do have, and we need some grey concrete. And I opted to use some dark oak trapdoors for this, but you can use whatever you like in terms of trapdoors. We're basically going to leave a gap between the edge here of the building. We're going to leave like a gap, and we're going to move diagonally here. 4 light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind as well, grey concrete on top, and then we're going to lay dark oak trapdoors on top of the light grey, but 2 of the trapdoors are actually going to be open, like this. And that is about as much detail as I would add to Big Donut. The only other thing that I might recommend, I hope I haven't, oh good, I didn't get rid of the material. The only other thing that I might recommend is adding some smooth stone around the build a little bit. So however much is going to be completely up to you, but I'd recommend maybe just filling in underneath here and maybe underneath the fence and maybe just going around the inside of the perimeter and just filling it all in with smooth stone, and then you'll be able to see everything pop a little bit. What I am also going to do myself, because I'm not doing the inside, it's not feasible to do the inside, there's not enough room unfortunately, without making this build absolutely massive and insane. That you usually can't do the inside of cartoon builds, not in the way that you would want to anyway. If you want, you can do your own. You'll have, if you've made Big Donut, then you have extensive knowledge of this build, and you can make your own as well as you can inside of the build. But as I say, most of the time when it comes to cartoon builds, you haven't really got enough room to make the inside without making the builds disproportionately huge. So what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to add maybe a little bit of floor in here and maybe fill in the backs of the windows. I'll get rid of all the concrete and I will also remove that floor. And then we'll be done. Let me show you what it will look like once you do clean up the build a little bit. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what Big Donut will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. I've gotten rid of all of the concrete, I've added some smooth stone going all the way around Big Donut as well, and honestly, I think that it's looking pretty good. I do hope that you guys have ended up with the exact same thing, and I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button, as that will ensure that you get all of my videos sent directly to your sub box. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate all of you very, very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!